What's a secret you can only share with online strangers? If you ever need help, then please know that there are many qualified people who would like to help you. UK. AU. There are crisis services worldwide that are trained to provide support. They are designed to give temporary relief from feelings that are overwhelming you, and while they are unlikely to fix any underlying problems, can help you get through a tough hour/night/week. Chat services are usually available on these sites. In the US, calling 211 or going to their website is a free referral source. They have providers who will see you regardless of your ability to pay. Just as you would see a doctor when you are sick, you deserve to take care of your mental health. Due to the current plague COVID, my best friend of 10 years lost his job. He was going through rough times beforehand. Wife cheated, left him, horrible divorce, etc. Now, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, and can be forgetful. He, however, is a very proud man, and will not accept help from anybody. Nothing I can do. He's always been that way. Important later. One night while having a few beers, he mentions how he's worried about making rent next month. Due to my decent savings and good job, I offered to help him. He refused, saying he would never accept it. Now, I know his landlord as a vague acquaintance saw him and had talked to him a few times before while at my buddy's place. So I went to see him while my buddy was at another friend's house working on his old dirt bike. I paid his rent in full, in cash, for the next 2 months. I told his landlord to never tell him it came from me, and to tell him that was owed to him due to overpayment on his rent while he lived there. Something about reviewing the last few years' finances to make it seem legit. He totally bought it. I saw him the next weekend, and he was so happy. He told me all about the overpayment and how that magically saved him, for without them, he might be homeless. While he thinks he was saved due to an accounting error, I'm so happy knowing I greatly improved his situation, at least for a little while. Edit. Firstly, thank you kind strangers for the awards. Can't have my phone on me at all at work. Surprised to see this blow up. I'll be replying soon. The doggo needs to go on a walk now. Edit 2. Just replied to as many comments as time would allow. I just want to thank everyone for the kind comments. Wow, what an amazing and wholesome story. You are a great friend. He's lucky to have you. Sometimes when my medical issues are acting up, I can't even remember my husband's name. I know who he is, but it's like the data is corrupted, and my brain is returning back "unknown error" instead of back "name." I get transient aphasia with my migraines. It's an awful feeling, and I'm sorry you have to deal with it. Not much of a secret, but my dad lied about having a family to my mom. My dad is still in the picture, but we are like the secondary family. It took 25 years for me to finally meet one of my brothers from my dad's side. He seems to be the only one who half-heartedly wanted to meet me. The rest don't seem to care too much about my existence. OMG, this happened with my best friends growing up, and I only actually found out very recently. My best friend and I are nearly 40, and her sister is about 43. It turns out, their father was always an incredibly righteous and judgmental person. But he secretly had a whole other family, right here in our tiny little town, with 2 daughters, of similar ages, to my friends. Oh, and grandchildren. And he just came home one day and dropped that bomb on everyone casually and then went out to snooker club. That's all I know. I'm shocked. It's obviously hurtful in many ways. His wife is a lovely woman. She accepted it. They all did. And that's for the best. I'm still flawed. Never told my parents I had stage 1 cancer. Both were barely sober and would have jumped off the wagon head first. Brightside Doc got it all. Edit. Thank you for the awards and thank you all. : Glad you beat cancer. I know that must have been a hard decision to make, but it was probably for the better to not tell them. Thank you, and yeah, my best friend was with me through it. In turn we ended up married, so it ended up a happy story. That is a very happy story. It's great that everything turned out well in the end. About 10 years ago, I stole my bully's phone and threw it off a building. He still doesn't know what happened to his phone. This reminds me of when I was 12 and I hid a kid's bike helmet so he couldn't bike home from school, since the school's policy was that all kids were to wear a helmet if they were to ride to and from school. I ended up fessing up to it though sadly and gave him his helmet back after a week. When I was with my host family, it was honestly the only year of my life I felt like a part of a family. I miss them so much. That's really touching. Sometimes we think our family lives are normal until we experience another way. Anyhow, I'm sure they miss you too. I obsess about being able to start life over in another time, to the point where I feel this life is not worth bothering about. I always thought the coolest thing in USA is that one day you can get up and decide I'm going to move to this state and you don't even have to tell anybody if you don't want to. Well, except if you're a parent or are in debt. You still don't have to tell anyone. There is a video of me being interviewed by Tulsa Channel 9 News where I'm drunk wearing a beer-soaked crop top tank top Oxford shirt being asked about my opinion on beer being sold in Boone Pickens. My finest moment. Late response. I honestly have no idea where/if there is a link of this incident. They might have saved the footage/stored it somewhere, and IDK where to find it. Also, it was Tulsa News 9, not Channel 9 News. Another late response. Apparently, I can't remember the news station, but I remember a prominent white 9 on a red square background on the mic. Honestly, cold bean KTUL8, but I was peeping plastered that day. I Tulsa gang. I have friends that have paid me to record them having sex. You guys get paid? You guys get sex? You guys got friends? You guys. I kind of dislike my best friend. We've known each other a long time, and we are both in unfortunate circumstances, but I'm trying to change mine. He isn't trying to change his. He just rages about how unfair his life is. I've offered all the help I can, but he never takes me up on it, and being his shoulder to cry on can be exhausting. He can be a very negative person, and so can I, but I'm trying to be less so. But it's easy to slip back into negativity when I'm around him. It's all very frustrating sometimes. Edit. Thank you so much for the award. A big hug back to everyone who has given me advice and or been in a similar situation. It's okay to break up with a friend. We don't have language or processes for it, like we do for romantic relationships. But we should. I can attest to this. I always remind myself of the quote, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." I find this to be true most of the time. I feel relieved whenever I get sick. I have major depression and anxiety problems, and being physically ill is just something people understand better. I don't know how to explain it. Edit. Holy speep. I didn't honestly think this many people could relate. It's comforting I'm not alone, but also makes me feel sad. Check on your friends. Friends. We aren't doing okay. It's like the physical illness justifies the peep feelings. You have a reason to feel bad, to stay in bed, to need people around. It gives you also something else to worry about, something present and real. I have never heard it explained this way, but wow, that hit me. It's so relieving to see that someone else has this experience. I'm inadvertently ruining my marriage because I'm terrified I'm going to ruin it. You should definitely bring this up with your partner and talk about therapy for you. I had a tendency to do this too. You are more than deserving of a good marriage and a happy life. Just how peeping lonely I am. Of course no one wants to hear it. They blow smoke up your ass or repeat catchy phrases. I have no friends or anyone I talk to outside of coworkers. I had a bad breakup last year and pretty much no luck since. Edit. Thanks for all the awards and kind words. It helps a little. Was not expecting like 4K and up votes, but I guess that goes to show I'm not alone in my loneliness. Same. Loneliness is brutal and dangerous. I feel like I shouldn't exist. I don't really want to exist. Edit. Damn, thanks for all the likes, friends. Wish we could get all the lonely people in one place and just have one big peeping party. I don't wanna exist either. Like, I don't want to kill myself, but I just want to curl up into a ball and just stop existing. Just disappear. Every once in a while the voice in my head says I'm sad and tired for no reason. Life used to be more difficult and the voice was much more present. But I also used to have more energy. Now most of the time I'm sad and tired for no reason and the voice keeps repeating it, and I feel like nothing makes me feel good. I created multiple accounts on Reddit to upvote my husband's writing and r/writing prompts to motivate him to continue to write. This is the most wholesome comment in this thread. My mother's last words, as she lay dying in our house, were, "I'm scared. This has f***ed me up bad. And I can't tell anyone I know, because I don't want to f*** them up too." I understand it if you don't want to answer this. But what happened? It was a normal night. We said goodnight and I went off to bed. 5 minutes later I heard her scream help. I ran downstairs. She said she couldn't breathe. I thought she was having panic attack, but called for the ambulance. Next thing I know she said that. Then she's turning purple. Then the noise and boom. Gone. Turned out she had a pulmonary embolism. 20 minutes start to finish, and I still have flashbacks. Can't hear those words without an anxiety attack, and had nightmares every night for a year afterwards. I bet she was less scared with you by her side, helping, supporting. I bet she was comforted knowing you were there for her. She was scared, but much less so because of you. While no one can take the pain away, I hope you find some relief in knowing you did everything right. But the most right thing you did was just being there. Thanks. That means a lot to me. Just want to add that this is so true. I don't think any of us can overestimate the huge amount of comfort that you gave by just being there in those moments of uncertainty. Having someone to share your fears helps you rationalize and calms you. I'm really sorry for your loss. You should maybe talk to someone professional yourself if that's possible. Else this may just fester in you, and I'm sure that is not what your mother would have wanted. Don't know how I'm going to survive now without stepdad. Died Saturday. Things just hurt so much. It will get better, but take your time. I felt the same when my mother died, but I'm still here. Thanks to everything she taught me. Even after death, the people you love stay with you. I wish you lots of strength.